So as promised, there will be a few behind the scenes. If you can hear a knocking in the background, it's my dog's tail wagging. A few behind the scenes from Weston for you. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a proper mishmash because it's really busy, but here you go. Okay, so course walking at Weston. Glorious sunshine. Oh, nearly in a tree. And yeah, what a day to be alive. Okay, so give you an insight into the advance. They're going to run from over there, nice long galloping stretch. The parkland is superb. And then this, fence 11A and B, 2 pig arcs. I'll come round. I should have really approached it from, you know, an appropriate angle. It's a good job I'm not actually walking the course to ride it. Here you go, so you can see slightly offset. To be fair, horses at this level should be a fairly straightforward ask on a related distance. You can walk it. They're wide enough, look. I mean, plenty big enough. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 strides. There or thereabouts. Well, 3 strides basically. Okay, so the next advanced combination. In the distance, that little speck, it's the lovely Wills Oakton walking the course, but big parallel there. And we come to this, the toboggan run. We've had a similar fence here at Weston like this actually for a few years. And generally speaking, it's got 1 or 2 out, but it jumps quite nicely. So frangibly pinned rails in, stride down to the ditch, which has got the water running through, out the other side to another set of rails. So there's the house as backdrop. Now, first of the advanced waters actually, 16 A, B, C, D. So over a little pimple, quite a big pimple to get in, run down into the water. Then they have to angle the step at C, go out to another of the pimples at D. Okay, so another advanced question. Brush corner. It's a fairly big table in the middle. Three strides. A long forward 3 strides actually. I mean, just appreciate that for a second. And then another brush corner, this time the other direction, so right-handed corner. And it's actually separately numbered there. So while it's related to 19AB, riders could actually choose to turn a circle. To be honest, it's fairly straight line. I'd expect all riders at this level to be going the direct route here. Just slows them up as they head towards the finish. Okay, so this is quite an interesting intermediate question. You've got the corner here at fence 10, left-handed corner. Then you're gonna have, I imagine it's a couple of strides, I'll walk it, down to the ditch. Frangible pin on the corner. Ooh, nearly went in it myself. So a couple of strides to the ditch, big enough ditch, water in the bottom, and then that'll be a 1 strider coming out to another corner. So the intermediate horses have run away from the corner combination, jumped steeplechase fence, and they come to the toboggan run. Nice old log down in. And that is the B element. Here we go, so the next intermediate question, the water here is the house, show jumping, and they are 14 AB, drop down into the water on 1 stride, and then that is 15. Show jumping warm up, and then this is the show jumping. Okay, so that's obviously the lovely farrier, Lorry Park. Then it goes up round the corner and all the way down there. There you go.
You know what we're here for? We know what we're here for. Don't waste your time. So I'm going to. So safely. I'm waiting for the curve, but we want all this thing at fine water.
Hill Road and Sailorette at the early part of their round, up the hill to the Lansbrook stud, obelisk into space. An enormous table at the first element, on the related distance to the very skinny second element, the B element, on 3 strides I walked it on. Go on from there, down the hill to the NHS Heroes Cloisters. Andy Heffernan.
Yes, dear.
Castle View Larry. Just go clear of the Ethos Precision Power combination at 19 and 20, so the final fence, the field support, home for supper.
Was much as block. Well, here in front of us, a problem at the kidney pool for Paolo Colonia. If we could but see it. That was the A element, caught him out. Over on the second attempt, though, they just need to sit back for the B element, this little thin blue wave, but get that one. And on towards the Ethos Precision Power combination.
Okay, so 2 of the best in the business. This chap here is none other than Paul Haggerty. Richard Connolly, my finger is doing weird things to your head, Richard, there we go. 2 of the best cross-country controllers. Paul, what is cross-country control? We talk about it a lot, people hear about it a lot, but what is it?
It's a little bit like flight control, except the aeroplanes have their own minds and they can go wherever they want. So we are basically looking after the cross-country track, controlling the flow of horses on that cross-country track, and ensuring that any incident that happens on course is dealt with appropriately.
Okay, Richard, tell us how we know where everybody is on the course.
So this is a plotting board. Everyone's looking at this. The controller and whoever's sitting here in the commentator seat as well are using this. And it seems a bit old-fashioned, but it's pretty fail-safe because we simply use paper and we simply move things along manually. So when you have your commentary slip, which most riders don't see anymore because it's all electronic, but we still get them printed out, we can move them along the board between all of our fences. So you'll see along the top, numbered fences, the name of the fence, the sponsors on those as well. And in fact, we also have our fence judges listed on here. So all we do as a horse passes from one fence to the next, we get the report in from the fence judges and we move them along.
Perfect, there we go, just like that. And it's so important that that is kept up to date because that tells you whoever is on course, where they are and what happens, so the controller knows what to do.
Absolutely. So in a smaller team like ours today, you'll find that both the commentator and the controller are plotting horses along when they hear a report come in, so it's always kept up to date. Some competitions they'll also have a plotter whose job is dedicated to just making sure this is in the right position, so that the moment something happens, you can glance at the board and immediately spot where horses are. And in this particular case, the red marks where the nominated stopping fences are, so the controller could see a horse approaching one of those and could start to ask those fences to stop if there's a problem.
Amazing. Okay, so obviously commentator sits here, controller sits there, and in this corner is basically the scoring hub. Tell us, Richard, tell us what goes on down this end.
So due to COVID, this is a process that's probably actually been simplified and will probably stay more simplified than it was in the past. The scorer at this end will be feeding through the sheets to the commentator's position there, and on these sheets we have all the information, and we draw down now from the eventing scores system, dressage scores, show jumping scores, and we write them on here. Now historically this information would have been radioed through, would have been coming through by telephone, or would have been delivered on slips of paper, and we'd have had to carry things across from there. But now, because of COVID, we're not doing quite so much with the paperwork, so we've all got a computer sat in the corner of the box, and we can put in a horse's number, we can see what it's done in each of the phases before cross-country, and we can transfer that information across. As the horse comes back off the board, finishes the course, we have the information related to how many jumping penalties, if any, it's got, and we can add those in now here as well. So when you see your eventing scores updated live there and then, it's because it's being done normally now in the control box.
No, it was withdrawn.
And it happens so quickly now, doesn't it? Like the last couple of years, it has changed and developed and become way more streamlined.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone who's sat here, we get a lot of volunteers sitting here for the first time. Their first time in control is often in this position in the school. They will testify that quite often you'll end up with piles of paper where you just can't quite keep up because of the amount of information coming in. This absolutely simplifies it. You still do have occasional hold-ups, occasional bits where you've got a pile of paper that you've still got to sort through, but on the whole this is so much quicker than we've been doing over the last 15 to 20 years.
You used to have to also be very good at mental maths, but now the computer does it for you and none of us can add up anything anymore.
I think a saving grace for you there, Nicole.
I know, tell me about it. Don't give away all of my weaknesses. Comes around
and
the back of the trees, setting up for the wave at the A elements.
What's it file?
It's in very nicely, couple of strides down into the water. Up the other side, and then left-handed back to the birch corner. Guilty pleasure, looking full of running combination. As Laura Collins opens up the stride of Outback the second as she comes to the Rookery Park stud kidney pool. On that very impressive score of 17.8. She's not hanging around at all. Very quickly clear of all three elements there. Swings that left back to the birch corner.
That's what Yogi Bryson has shown.
And takes that very well. So Jasmine Underwood and the very aptly named Snow coming round to the Rookery Park stud kidney pool in section L, the pony trail. In very nicely. And then through all three elements, swing left-handed back to the brush corner. And see a super shot there. Okay, you can probably tell I'm definitely not at Weston Park anymore, but that was all of the footage that I got together. It was a really busy weekend, so I hope you enjoyed it. Saturday was absolutely horrible weather in the afternoon. It was gorgeous when I arrived and course walked in the morning. Then by sort of lunchtime, the snow had started and it was just grim, completely and utterly grim. So I didn't really venture out of control very much. So cold. I think it took us all by surprise. I'm definitely out of practice. I did not go appropriately dressed. Anyway, Sunday was much nicer weather. The ground dried up loads until randomly at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon it just started snowing. But it was a brilliant weekend. It was so good. Excuse all of the like chaos that's going on. There's probably a digger in the background as well, you can hear. It was so good to be back at an event, and I feel very lucky to love my job. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed my second ever vlog, and I will do some more. So if there is anything that you guys particularly want to see or anything like that, then let me know. I'm not very good at the whole, making it snazzy, so it's pretty Bobby basic, but hopefully you enjoyed it. and would love it if you could let me know if you did or not. I mean, if you don't enjoy it, then just be nice when you tell me that you didn't, you know, the usual. But yeah, thank you for watching, and just basically, bye. See you soon.